Street. Fear Street's coming back.
Hell yeah, it is.
And for those of you that don't know, Fear Street was a series of 3 movies that told their own confined story, but also told one big overarching story. It came out, I believe it was last summer. They were really good. I really liked them. They were horror. They're written by R.L. Stine. Well, they were based on R.L. Stine's work. His Fear Street novels, not adult, but more older audiences, not such as like Goosebumps, which is what he's most known for. Nick, I think you've read some of the Fear Street, or you're aware more of Fear Street. I didn't know anything about it until the shows or movies came out.
I read it like years ago, back when he started first writing them, because I was a huge Goosebumps fan. They were definitely more adult, more teenage oriented. But the thing that cracks me up about the TV series is how they took that teen vibe and actually make it R-rated, which actually made it better. And the fact that R.L. Stine was 100% for it. I can't wait. I can't wait for this sequel, whatever this is going to be. I don't know if they're going to do something different, if they're going to bring back some of the cast. I don't know which one my favorite was, maybe the middle one, but they were all really good. I was really excited that they worked well.
I thought the first one was the best one. It just spoke to me more, but I enjoyed I really liked all of them. The middle one was much more that kind of Friday the 13th vibe. The last one I actually liked more than I thought I would, because it does deal with that witchcraft. I usually don't get into that stuff. I'm not a big fan of that stuff usually, but I like that one, especially how they brought it all back around. I just enjoyed the whole thing, but the first one was the one that I was just like, holy shit, this is so much better than I thought it would be.
Right.
To touch on what you said about R.L. Stine and this story, and no, we don't know specifically how it's coming back. I would assume it's going to be similar to it was last time, probably an anthology of films that come out within a few weeks of each other, because that worked for him last time, because that's why it's getting revived again. But R.L. Stine teased that he'd heard rumors about more Fear Street movies for Netflix because the first ones did so well last summer. And Bloody Disgusting also reported that Netflix is very deep into development on more Fear Street projects at the moment. These movies, those stories, were they in the books, and this is just an adaptation, or was it just kind of like a vibe?
I want to say they might be, but like I said, it's been so long since I've read them. I don't know offhand 100%, but I would say maybe some of the characters are. But I can't be. I don't want to say that for 100% guarantee.
Well, either way, he said of the Fear Street films that came out last summer, R.L. Stine himself said those films kind of shocked me because they were all R-rated, and I've never done anything R-rated. All those teenagers were getting slashed. I was like, suddenly I have a slasher movie. So apparently R.L. Stine was all on board for the Fear Street movies, and he really enjoyed them as well. That's great. Yeah. I'm really excited to hear this, because I did really, really enjoy those movies.
I don't know if you remember watching the trailers for them, but they didn't look that great to me. When I watched it, I think the thing that caught me by surprise is the fact they're R-rated and they have a cohesive narrative. But I think the fact that they made them a little campy, a little disturbing, and a little horrifying is something I really love, because there's horror films, if you know anything about them, are a dime a dozen in the world of Hollywood filmmaking. And when you get an original one like this, or Cabin in the Woods, that is right up my alley, and that's exactly what happened here. And it was awesome. It really was. I didn't hate a single episode. I just liked the one with Sadie Sink more.
It was fresh. I was not expecting it to be nearly as gruesome and violent, and just fun and interesting, and it was having a good time. It was campy, but not too campy. It wasn't like ridiculous campy, and like that bread slicer scene, holy fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
That was crazy.
That was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was crazy. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I did enjoy the first one the most. Fear Street 2, we don't have any information on it as of yet, besides what I just told you guys, that it is coming, and I don't think that that's really a surprise. The first ones were a success. Fear Street The Return, what do you want?
Honestly, if they keep it close to what they did, but added different types of horror characters, I think it could be cool. I'm sure there's a wealth of characters in Fear Street. They worked with R.L. Stine on some breaking up some new characters, because he's a pretty original guy when it comes to bookmaking and stuff like that. It could be cool. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure what I want out of it, but it could be cool to do like an anthology once again with kid reading stories or something that come true or something like that.
I hope that, because that was one of the things I liked about the original 3 movies, is that story. It was nostalgia bait for sure, but it was done right. It wasn't just nostalgia bait. They actually had an interesting story, an overarching story, and all that, and the characters I really enjoyed. I just hope they don't do like the same thing again.
Yeah,
that's what we get a lot of times in Hollywood nowadays, is something really big or popular will come out and they're not expecting it to be as big it is, and then they just copy it. I'm okay with them doing 3 movies again, all that stuff, everything that they did, that template. I hope it's a different story. I don't want a continuation of what happened. I just want a totally different story.
Right.
and I want it to be something totally fresh like that harkens back to something. Maybe they don't even need to do like the time jump thing. I mean, I guess they could, but it made sense with that story because of how it was put together. It could all take place in the same time. I'd be cool with that. Just do something fresh. That's my biggest fear, is that it's going to be the same story with different characters. This time we're doing 2005, 1985 or so, something like that. If they do that, I hope that it is done in a way that just makes sense and complements the characters of the story like this last one did, because I really, really, really enjoyed it, and I am really excited about the prospect of this, but I admittedly do have reservations as to what they're going to do with it. But as of right now, who the fuck knows? But I'm hoping for the best. I'm looking forward to it. It's apparently going to be all the same people, not in front of the camera, but behind the camera. A lot of the same people are going to be returning. The director, I heard, is coming back, and like a lot of the creative force behind it. So that's good. I just hope that it doesn't come off as forced, and I hope that the first Fear Street just wasn't like, a fluke.
Yeah, that's the hope. 'Cause, that, like you said, they could get real bad. So
yeah, and I hope that's not what happens. Come on, Netflix, Fear Street, and R.L. Stine and the other people. Do us proud. Bring us something awesome again.